All right, let's dive right into this explainer and transform AI from a confusing, futuristic buzzword into your ultimate everyday academic assistant. If you've been feeling completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tools out there, or if you're just wondering how to actually use these systems in your research without totally sacrificing academic integrity, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break down exactly how AI can shift from being just a vague concept to a very real, active collaborator in your day-to-day work.
We've got an incredibly exciting roadmap ahead. Here's our agenda for today. First, what is artificial intelligence? Second, the benefits and risks. Third, supercharging your literature review. Fourth, chatting with your documents. And finally, brainstorming and academic writing. Let's just jump right in.
Okay, Section 1. What is artificial intelligence? Defining the modern digital brain.
So, can a machine actually think like you do? This question has literally haunted computer scientists since Alan Turing proposed his famous test way back in 1950. The early goal was to see if a machine could behave indistinguishably from a human. But as it turns out, trying to replicate the messy, complex human mind isn't necessarily the most effective way to build a useful tool. So today we actually look at AI a bit differently.
Instead of just trying to perfectly mimic us, the modern view, which was defined by pioneers like Russell and Norvig, focuses on systems acting as rational agents. What this means is the AI isn't sitting there trying to feel human emotions. It's simply perceiving data and taking the most logical actions to maximize its chances of achieving a specific goal.
Now, it's absolutely crucial to remember that all current AI, no matter how jaw-droppingly impressive it might seem, is just weak or narrow AI. Your Netflix recommendation algorithm, your voice assistants on your phone, they do not possess self-awareness. They're just highly specialized to do one thing really, really well. Strong AI, those conscious, general reasoning machines you see in sci-fi movies, they simply don't exist yet.
And this right here is exactly where the paradigm shifted from traditional machine learning into deep learning. In the past, humans had to manually write these explicit rules, like literally telling the computer to look for circles if it wanted to find a car's wheels. But deep learning changed everything. By feeding artificial neural networks millions of images, the system figures out the important features entirely on its own. It's learning the patterns without that rigid human programming.
Moving on to Section 2. The benefits and risks, the double-edged sword of automation.
The upsides here are just undeniable, and they're rapidly changing how we live. We're seeing incredible advancements everywhere, ranging from analyzing X-rays for early tumor detection in medicine to personalized tutoring platforms like Duolingo that actually adapt in real time to a student's learning level. It's reducing human error, it's automating those mind-numbing, time-consuming tasks, and it's even creating entirely new industries and jobs.
But, we really have to balance the scales here, because for every efficiency gained, there's a parallel risk. Automating tasks means certain jobs are inevitably displaced, which requires massive reskilling efforts, and while AI is highly accurate, it learns from human data. That means it can easily absorb and amplify our own biases, which has led to well-documented issues in recruitment and loan approval systems. Plus, the sheer computing power required to train these models, it leaves a very heavy carbon footprint.
And this brings us to a super important point, the black box problem. When an AI denies a loan or suggests a medical diagnosis, but cannot explain how it arrived at that conclusion, we have a massive transparency issue. This is exactly why core principles and increasingly global laws like the EU AI Act demand that AI must be accountable, fair, and explainable. We literally just need to know why it's making the decisions it makes.
All right, Section 3. Supercharging your literature review. Introducing Elicit.
Listen, if you have ever spent days just drowning in a sea of PDFs, tools like Elicit are going to completely change your life. Elicit is explicitly designed for academic rigor, searching across 138 million real scientific papers via databases like Semantic Scholar. By defining a really specific research question, you can follow this exact workflow, and Elicit will actually generate automatic comparison tables for you. It extracts methods and results across multiple papers in minutes. It even has this crazy feature where you can literally talk to papers. You can converse with a document using natural language to quickly find its limitations before you commit hours to reading the whole thing. But, and this is a big but, you have to remember the limits of the tool. Elicit cannot judge the scientific quality of a study for you. It's not going to detect a flawed methodology. Your human critical thinking is still, for sure, the most important part of the review process.
Section 4. Chatting with your documents. Welcome to Notebook LM. 25 million. Yeah, that massive number is the total word capacity per notebook in Notebook LM. You can upload up to 50 different sources. We're talking PDFs, text files, Google Docs, even YouTube video transcripts into a single closed circuit. And because the AI is strictly restricted to only looking at the specific documents you provide, it drastically reduces the chance of hallucinations or making up fake facts. It is synthesizing only your data.
Now you might be wondering, what about my privacy? Naturally, if you're uploading sensitive lab research, interview transcripts, or an unpublished thesis draft, you want to know if your data is safe or if it's going to end up in some public chatbot's memory.
Thankfully, the privacy protocols here are super strong. Your personal data is absolutely not used to train Google's base algorithms for their public models. Your upload stays strictly within your private workspace. And because your data remains totally secure, you can confidently use amazing features like audio overviews. This actually transforms your uploaded notes into a remarkably realistic two-host podcast. You can literally listen to a synthesis of your own research while commuting, though, okay, we can't promise it'll be more thrilling than your favorite true crime show.
And finally, Section 5, brainstorming and academic writing, from blank page to final draft.
Have you ever just stared at a blank page, practically begging for a topic to magically appear? AI is an incredible brainstorming partner, but its output is literally only as good as your input. A weak, vague prompt is going to yield really generic results, but a highly specific, strong prompt where you give the AI a domain, a format, and constraints, that transforms it into the ultimate divergent thinking assistant, giving you a wealth of highly specific angles to explore. Once you actually have your ideas down and a rough draft going, tools like ChatGPT or Claude can dramatically improve the structural integrity of your writing. Think of it like taking clunky, disjointed puzzle pieces and smoothing them out. They help build a logical bridge from section to section to ensure your arguments naturally flow.
And hey, if you're a non-native speaker, or if you just generally struggle with hitting that perfect formal academic register, this is where AI truly shines. Tools like DeepL offer context-aware translation and rewording features that are just incredible for nailing that formal academic tone, getting rid of awkward redundancies, and ensuring your writing sounds highly professional.
As we wrap up this toolkit, there is one golden rule you absolutely must adhere to. Use AI as an assistant, never as an author. While these tools are fantastic for structure, grammar, and translation, they can also confidently fabricate references out of thin air. Plagiarism checkers are actively looking for uncredited AI generation, so your human critical thinking, your unique voice, and your verification of the facts remain absolutely essential to academic integrity.
So as you head back to your studies, your labs, and your research, I want to leave you with this thought to spark your curiosity. We're moving way past the days of just Googling things. You now have a tireless collaborator available 24/7. So how will you harness this digital brain to push the boundaries of what you'll build next? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy researching.